So Dan, how is a European week different for you and the team? Would you say there's a different atmosphere around Kingspan, or what is the run-up then to a game at home especially then like?
There's always a little bit of a difference in European week, and it's not that we change the way that we prepare, particularly because the way that we prepare, we have a way of doing things, and it's based around trying to achieve the highest standards that we can within our sphere and our understanding. So we don't really change the way that we do things, but naturally there's a little bit of a difference, because there's an excitement in the province around European rugby, and naturally so. And that's whether we're playing away or we're playing at home. But when you've got a European game coming up on a Friday night, like we do against Rochelle, there's a buzz about the town, there's a buzz about the province, and the players pick up on that. We do things a little bit differently during the week, but not a great deal. One of the things that is significant is the player management program doesn't apply during European week, so all the players are on the pitch. The full squad is there training, the full squad is available for selection. So being picked in those games gives a higher intensity to the training, but also the expectation around the level that we're going to play at.
Yeah, super, Dan. And Marcus had just mentioned recently in media then about when the European team is announced then to the squad that the European music is played. Why do you think then that creates an atmosphere then? Is it important to kind of prepare the guys?
Well, that's probably one of the things that we do a little bit differently. You just like the European games, everybody's playing their team, which is often full of international stars. And when we play La Rochelle or when we play Sale, that'll be exactly the same. They'll be full of international stars, and so there's a little bit more around it. Like Niall Malone puts together a little video package of the team announcement, of the players, little clips from them, and it's put to the music of the Champions Cup, which is awesome. So like I've been doing this a long time, and it still sends tingles down my spine. So it's a good way to start the week.
Absolutely. I know it gives you goosebumps as soon as you hear it. So what are you expecting then from La Rochelle, obviously with Ronan O'Gara in charge? Do you think he'll have more of an insight then into Irish rugby as a whole than, say, potentially another French team?
I know Ronan from when we played against each other and when we coached, and as I say, he's extremely smart in terms of planning for the opposition. So I know that La Rochelle play in a certain way, but he'll understand the way that we play and have his team primed for that. What do we expect from them? Well, everybody's watched La Rochelle over the last couple of years and what they've been able to do at European level and within the French league. They're a team of superstars. There are a lot of guys there who have played at an extremely high level, really big forward pack, and they're able to dominate you physically at the game line if you don't get things right, and then they have backs who are absolutely electric, who can play off the back of that. I thought last year in the European final and in the lead up to that, they managed the game extremely well from half back. And that allowed them to certainly to squeeze Leinster in the final there. So it's an enormous challenge for that for us, even at home, where we would pride ourselves on our ability to be able to put out good performances in Europe. I think La Rochelle are probably going to test us more than any team in the group stages thus far.
Absolutely. And you mentioned there, Dan, just about the home crowd. What would you say then that the home crowd brings then when we're at Kingspan Stadium, especially on a European night?
Yeah, well, Friday night rugby in Kingspan is special, and anybody that comes there, whether they're a supporter coming for the first time or whether they're an opposition team, in fact whether they're the head coach and they've been doing it for 4 and a bit years, it's still a brilliant night. And European night takes on another level. It'll be 18,000 people there, and I think anybody who's even been there once remembers that as something special. The players certainly take that on board. They want to be involved, not just because of the rugby they play, but because of the experience of actually being out on the pitch with all their fans screaming them on. you know, that game against La Rochelle is going to be massive, and you know, is something that I'm really honoured that I can be there and be present for. And I know, you know, I'll have a chunk of family over there, and you know, they'll treat it as an experience they can remember for a long time, I'm sure.
Oh, fantastic. And we've talked a bit there about, obviously, the home crowd makes it really special. Just in terms of, just to kind of finish then in a more overall question, what do you think it is that just makes Ulster so special as a club?
That's a really interesting question. Like, you know, as I said earlier, like I've been here 4 years now, over 4 years, and there is something different. You know, there's certainly something unique about the place, about the province, and about what rugby means to the people within that province. It's certainly very visible in the guys who have come through our pathway, who've you know, come through families in Ulster, played for clubs within Ulster. You know, there's a pride to wearing that jersey, and you know, I know that is at a lot of clubs, particularly in Ireland, I think. But Ulster, there's something very special. You know, rugby's a sport that brings together all types of people. You know, we want all types of people to be involved in rugby. You know, and that gives a special feeling to the fact that you can belong to something like that. And you know, it's obviously rugby has a great history in Ulster. There's been a tremendous amount of success there, and you know, over the last number of years, these guys have been wanting to earn a part of that success. So yeah, no, it's certainly special to me, and I know it's special to a lot of people.